All right, here we go again. So we're going to be coming up through another sort of cutting, rock cut here. This one you can see is somewhat shaded from the sun, so maybe we'll be able to see things. If I would have been thinking, I would have left a little earlier in the morning, so I would have started the hike earlier. So here you can see there's a telegraph pole and there's a broken insulator on there and peg, and here again you can see some of the massive rock work. Again, gives you an idea of how challenging it would have been, right? Again, we're kind of at the dawn of the age of mechanization. You know, there is some machinery that's at work, but there's a lot of manual labor that's going into this. And as we've already documented, there were some workers that lost their lives constructing this line. So here you can see again some of these massive rock cuts. You can see some of the leaves are coming out on the trees. I've mentioned before that we had a really bad winter and a bad spring. This area did not, so where I live in Thunder Bay, which is to the west of here, this area didn't get as much snow. And so I think they're way farther ahead. Like you'll notice there's like no snow. There's like snow in little patches here and there in sort of the low-lying areas, but like it's all gone. You know, closer to Thunder Bay, there's snow all over the place at my camp, which is what people call a cottage or a cabin. There's just snow everywhere still. I mean, the ice hasn't even gone off the lake. So here we have a few things. So here's a creek. There's a milepost. What's nice about this is the markers on the culverts are really easy to see. So the mileage on this one here is 88.8. So we're coming up to milepost 89 very shortly. There's a telegraph pole. There's the cross beams. This morning this was all in shade, and now we're all bathed in sun here. Ooh. Lots of spikes and things all over the place. Lots of discarded ties. And here, we're going to be talking a little bit more about this shortly, but here you can see one of the issues with the railway line in this area. You can see that this whole section of grade here has been eroded, and it has a lot to do with how it was built and the underlying geology of the area, right? So obviously what's happened is probably that maybe that culvert is plugged up, the water's come over here and kind of washed this section out. And so here you can see continuing with the rock work here. Thankfully we're in the shade here, so you can see it okay. Just trying to see. What was on my GPS there? The bay is just gorgeous. It's like glass, which you don't see very often. There's always wind. All right, so we're coming up here. So there you can see a little bit of snow. So you see a little patchy snow here and there, but nothing like what it's like closer to Thunder Bay. I was kind of shocked to see some of the trees are actually, some of the poplars, the leaves are coming out. All right, so here we're back into yet more rock work. And so you can see this massive cliff here. And here, I mentioned this earlier, so that little nub that you can see there, that is basically the milepost 89 marker. So milepost 89, again, that is the mileage on the Kinghorn. So for the original lines, we have to subtract the 49.7. And so on the original lines, this would be milepost 39.3. So here you can see this massive cliff here. Again, all of this would have had to be blasted out. You can see the gorgeous views of the bay and the water. Again, just an absolutely gorgeous area. And again, It would have been something to come through here in the early days. Well, like I said, when those trees weren't here and you just had this view of the bay the whole way down. You had these massive cliffs on one side, and then you had the view of the bay on the other, right? Like this is postcard type of stuff. And again, you can see the work that was done. Like literally they just sort of blasted this whole shelf out. You can see all the blasted rock here. So again, very, very difficult to construct. And you can see the rock work here continues. I don't know how much they would have taken off the side of this cliff, but whatever it was still fairly significant. And again, you can see some of those issues with the rock fall. You can see some of the rocks that have come down. And here we have another example of that rock wall that we were talking about. And so here you can see it here. There's a longer one coming up, but again, you can see it. Again, just really, you know, again, I'm guessing that's original construction. Just quite amazing to see the work. And here's your $1 million view. Again, I'm just enchanted with this area. I just absolutely love it. You can see the top of the cliffs there. Again, I doubt that would have been blasted out, but you can see the geography. So these rock ridges are called the Pijitawabik Palisades. And again, this is a very, very popular place for its scenery. Further to the south, towards the southern end of Orient Bay, basically you have people who do like rock climbing in both the summer and the winter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold up here, and eventually we're going to keep plugging our way to the south. All right, we're going to get going here again. We do have a little thing to point out. So just coming past this rock cut here, as we were finishing up the recording, I noticed something caught my eye down there. And so I went down and dragged it up, and so lo and behold, we have a piece of signage. So this is a permanent slow order sign. I don't know which direction it was facing in, if it was facing that way, or if it was facing that way, or if it was just for this whole area in general. Again, there was an issue with the rock fall and stuff like this in this area. There was something significant coming up. Luna, come here. Come here. She decides she doesn't like this thing, and so she rolls on the ground and messes everything up. All right, so we're going to continue plugging away, just trying to see where we're at here. Okay, we're coming up to another pretty big rock cut and another one of those rock walls, so we're gonna get ourselves over there. So just hang on, I'm gonna zip you ahead a little bit. Keep my eyes open for any more signage. All right, so we're coming up to our next section here. Now, I'm going to show you the first little part of this, and maybe we can get away. So what I did is there's a couple of areas where I recorded on the way northbound, because when the sun peaks around that cliff, you can't see anything. And as you can see, as it is right now, it's probably all backlit, so I'm not quite sure what you're seeing. So we'll pick the best footage. All right, so we wanted to try to grab this while we were still going north, because even now with the backlit, it might be hard to see these cliffs. So again, this was a scene of rockfall warnings. Obviously, you can see some of the rocks that have come down. I doubt this would have all been blasted out. Maybe a little bit right here. Sorry, I'm just plowing through the ballast here because I'm not watching where I'm going. but obviously a significant amount of work. And again, you can see more evidence of that rock fall. So you can see all the rocks that have come down. And here we have yet another example of this retaining work that's done here. Just really neat to see. I'm guessing this is probably original construction. Just this little stone retaining wall. Again, how all the stones are fitted together. It's really, really neat and interesting to see. And it's fairly lengthy here. I mean, it would have taken a little bit of effort to construct. Just trying to get an idea. I'll look back here and we'll see. Maybe we can see the cliff a little bit better. I don't know. It's got to be more than 50 feet. Maybe 100 feet? I don't know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue our journey to the west here. We got another fairly significant rock cut that's coming up soon.